then a command to kiss.
It's a chant. You can put anything. It's a concoction of anything. So there are even other chants where words are not even used. So there's a chant, my Lord, when you want to put a new song, so you're singing and you are introducing a new song, you put a chant just Dio, 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 Mama, Dio. If someone was say to me, interpret that, I can't, because you just put that chant in between to prepare those who are singing with you that you are now bringing a new song. So you throw words as you want.
So it's random.
It's random at that, but at all times, the leadership has got a message to deliver with that.
What's that message?
Which one?
You said at all times the leadership has a message to deliver.
Yes.
What is the message?
On which part?
This. You said, in other words, in the chant, you assume there's a message to the chant in its entirety.
No, I'm saying on the shoot to kill or what?
On the shoot to kill, kiss the Boer. What is the message?
No, the message in the chant is very clear. Shoot to kill, kill. Nyamazan means shoot to kill the enemy forces who are standing in between us and our freedom. It was very clear that. And then the kiss is exactly that. It means kiss the Boer, kiss the farmer. Because I know when I say that, you are going to take offense. You know why? Because you don't want a black person kissing a white person. It's an immoral act, according to the immoral act of during apartheid. Even to embrace love and kissing of black people to white people, it's a criminal offense. Because we must not be seen to even suggest that it's possible for a black person to kiss a white person. If I want to sing my Lord, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, I will sing it. I said to you, I don't sing it. It doesn't mean I will not sing it. I can sing it. Anyone who sings it will be well justified to sing it. It's a struggle song. And our struggle was not hate. It was a struggle for freedom. So don't confuse me to be saying, because I'm singing kiss, it means I've replaced kill with kiss. No. I know that the racist will still be offended by a call to kiss.
Do you have any other chants where you call for interracial relationships?
I think that's the most profound one, a kiss.
So that's the only one.
Remember, the chants also have to feed in the sequencing of this singing arrangement. So I can't be singing a chant on I miss you. It must feed. So the shorter you keep it, the better, so that it can be in sync with the chanting.
Seems like there are two ways to interpret what you're doing.
Yeah.
The one is that there was a chant which said, shoot to kill, kill the Boer, and then you change that to say, kiss the Boer. And your explanation for that is that what you are calling for is interracial love. Right? And that's the reason why you've changed it.
No, is he saying that? I thought he says, I sang the word kiss the farmer as a sign of provocation because I knew they would take exception to it.
Yes.
I don't think he was saying...
I didn't say reconciliation.
He was saying as a way of a reconciliation yes.
I think that's true, to be fair. In other words, you're saying the reason why you're singing it is because you want to offend people by putting forward the notion of interracial love.
No, I want to offend the racist who had declared that a black person kissing a white person is immoral, which is wrong. That alone, it's immoral to say black and white can kiss. So I know when I sing this song, the racist white supremacist will still be offended. But my Lord, if we were to take his argument that I replaced kill with kiss when it comes to that part, it's as if this is a song written, and then you know that when you arrive at this portion, then there is a kill. And then now we're no longer finding kill in that portion, we find kiss. It's not correct. Because in the chant, my Lord, you can just start with kill the Boer, kill the farmer, without chanting shoot to kill, kill a man. It's not a sequencing. You can start either way. You can say, Amandla, awetu, kill the Boer, the farmer, kill the Boer, the farmer, immediately. So it's not like you have to follow certain things. Then now when he arrived there, he now realized and then he changed. No, I would have changed the flow of the song if it was flowing like that. The chants don't flow like that. You can use it anywhere if you want, or you choose not to use it at all. It all depends on what you want to chant. It's a democratic free country.
So what would you meant if you chanted shoot to kill the Boer? What would be meant by that chant?
No, it would have meant the same thing. It's a struggle song. Shoot at the system of oppression that has oppressed our people for a very long time.
And you testified earlier that Boer means farmer.
Yes.
So would it be kill the farmer?
No. In a literal meaning, that's your interpretation. In our understanding, because we are not barbaric, we know that farmer gets to be used as a phase of land dispossession and the system that has rejected us and stolen property from us. That's what we mean by the farmer.
So, but you're not singing about a system, you've personalized it. In other words, your complaint is that there's a system which you don't like, but you've now personalized it to a particular group of people being farmers. The lyrics of the song saying, kill the farmer.
No, we've given it a face, Shem.
Yes, you've given it a face.
Yes.
And it's
Not personalized this, we gave it a face.
Yes.
Every oppression, every system has got a face. So when you talk about a democratic South Africa, you have a face of Nelson Mandela. When you talk about an oppressive system that has stolen property from us, you'll have Jan van Riebeeck, you'll have the farmer as the face of that oppressive system that has stolen from us. You have to give it a meaning. People should be able to relate to it. But they understand that we're not referring to any group of persons in that context.
How do you know they understand that?
They would have done it by now.
They have.
No, they've not.
Now you deny that you're speaking.
Just give me one moment. So, Mr. Malema, you're saying we are not referring to a group of people,
No, we're referring to a system.
to a system.
Yes.
You may proceed, Mr. Bonano.
I'd like to, on this question around kiss and kill, it might be useful to read to you what was sung by Judge Lamont.
Yeah, sure.
And paragraph 100 that Judge says, an important feature within the ambit of the range of permutations is the ability of the speaker to so structure the delivery of a message as to cause the audience to attribute different meanings to the words than the meanings which are ordinarily attributed. This elasticity of meaning has been manipulated by persons who are skilled in the art of words since time immemorial. Literature is filled with parody and innuendo to name so few forms. He says it is possible to illustrate this point by recalling that at a point in time, Malema saying, kiss the Boer. On the face of it, these words are innocuous. It is only when consideration is given to the range of knowledge available to the audience, in which the audience will use to decode the words, that the true meaning becomes apparent. At the time that the words were uttered, the words kill the farmer and kill the Boer were controversial and could not be used as they had been recognized as hate speech. The fact that the words kill the farmer and kill the Boer were hate speech was well known to all members of the audience as it had been widely publicized. At a superficial level, the word kiss is sufficiently close in sound to the word kill for the audience to make the link between kiss and kill. Once the audience makes the link, it becomes apparent that the coded message is that to which the link refers, namely kill the Boer, kill the farmer. There can be little doubt that it was no coincidence that the speaker used the word kiss when he encoded the message he wished the audience to receive. The elasticity of the meaning to be attached to kiss is that it means kill. Hence the word actually used, a word demonstrating love and affection, is in fact a word which is intended by that, used to produce the image of the exact opposite.
That judgment is
Sorry,
not
there's,
existing.
yes, Mr. Kasiboto.
Your Lordship, you'll recall earlier that when I intended to play the video, your first response, immediate response to me is, are you going to that judgment? Because our agreement was the question of the relevance, if any, of your brother's judgment in this case is the subject of legal argument. Now, my suggestion is this, Your Lordship, it would be unfair to put the proposition as authority in your brother's judgment when in fact we've been resolved on its relevance, if any at all. And I both would agree that we reserve that for legal argument in due course.
Well, I think it's perfectly fair to put a witness a view on what is meant by kiss. This Judge Lamont has expressed to you in his judgment. Now, what we discussed earlier was that order does not rest if there is an agreement which supersedes the order, minding the content of the judgment as noted in the volume. But I think Mr. Miller should give talk.
Well, I would still want to hear what's the, because there's a difference between the order and the reasoning for the order. I'm not sure whether, and I said to both of you, I think in chambers, that this is a matter that may require in-depth debate as to what's the status of Judge Lamont's reasoning and the status of his order, and also the agreement which was concluded, which was subsequently made an order of court. All those things, I think, are going to require a debate. But however, Mr. Kasiboto, the question that's been put to the witness, I think it would be fair to also hear from the witness, just that that paragraph is so long. I'm not sure it's fair to then expect the witness to recall everything else that's been said there. Maybe if you could summarize it and present to him what the essence of that paragraph is, and then he can respond. But beyond that, I don't think it would be fair to then engage him on the legal status of that judgment.
Yes. No.
Sorry, let me hear, Mr. Yes, Mr.
The difficulty is this, Your Lordship, and of course subject to ruling. The difficulty with that line is that firstly, it's referred to as a judge. Now there's authority attached to the suggestion or the proposition. And once you use the connotation of the judge's opinion, that obviously plays in the mind of the witness as to the degree of authority of that opinion. If you reserve the question of what that judgment is and whether it has relevance here or not, then it can't be fair to pose the question as an opinion of the judge. We must first establish whose opinion is it and under what capacity, so that the client is not, or rather the witness is not misled in terms of a suggestion that comes from authority.
No, but I thought the question that's put, Mr. Kasiboto, is the decision was made, reasoning was made. Maybe it should be formulated along the line that says, Judge Lamont, in his judgment, reasoned. What's your comment on that reasoning to avoid that issue that you are raising now? Would that not cater for your concern?
I don't mean to be difficult, Your Lordship. My point is this. Once you introduce that as part of the process here, then we're predetermining what the outcome will be once we have this debate around whether his reasoning is even relevant and whether it can be relied on. Because what now?
We are now sitting at a higher level.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's a concern that's been raised, and maybe put it as a proposition, and then it would solve the problem.
Yes. Let me put the proposition to participant. The proposition is simple: that the term kiss is coded language for kill. That in the context of the song and that the audience's knowledge of the song, that the term kiss doesn't mean to express that. It is code for kill. And that is a reasonable way of interpreting the word in the full context of the rest of the chant.
No, the kill can be confused with kiss. That's number one. Number two, we said here that we use the kiss not to spread love in this context, but to provoke the white supremacists who were declared that it is immoral for a black person to kiss a white person. And when we say kiss, we know that the racist will become red because they will never appreciate that there's a call for black people to kiss white people.
I believe you again that there don't appear to be any other instances where you have taken this line at a chance that black people should kiss white people in order to offend white supremacists. This strikes me as an after-the-fact explanation, try and cover coded language through the apparent everyone else.
Which other place have I been asked to explain it the way I'm being asked to explain it here?
I asked you earlier, I said, are there any other instances of songs or chants where you call on people to engage in interracial love? Are there any?
I'm not calling for interracial love. Why do you keep on insisting that I'm calling for interracial love?
Interracial sex?
No, I'm not. I'm provoking the white supremacists who will take offense on black people kissing white people, because that was declared an immoral act, my Lord. That's what I'm saying. And the Lordship tried to explain it to you even much earlier, that he never said he's spreading love. He said he's provoking the people who will take offense out of black people kissing white people. It's a political discourse. It is used in that context.
Are there other songs where you do that? In other words, where you try and provoke white supremacists?
Mr. Oppenheimer, you're going to go into another debate again. He says it's a chant. Can we keep maybe to the chant? Maybe
Yes.
let the question be,
Yes, chants.
is there any other chant?
Are there any other songs on this issue of trying to offend white supremacists on the question of black people and white people kissing because they tend to? Are there any other examples?
No, in the chant throughout, the white supremacists offended my Lord. There is a chant where I say, Sil tatile hilagit, meaning we took the land, belongs to us. The white supremacist will be offended that now he's claiming they've taken the land, it belongs to them. So all of it is aiming at unsettling the racist white supremacist, and we make no apology about it. From when it starts to the end, the chant is directed at the system of segregation and oppression and its beneficiaries. And there's no apology about
That was
that.
the Immorality Act ended or made no longer a law.
What?
The Immorality Act, you made reference to the Immorality Act, which prohibits interracial sex. It's no longer a law, okay? How long is it not in the law?
No, I'm not talking the law. You can talk the law. Immorality Act meaning it's an immoral action by us. If it was reduced into law, yes, that is the law which you and your learned friend can deal with that. It's not my business to look at which law was scrapped when. But it was an immoral act declared by the apartheid system for a black person to kiss a white person.
The next part of the song, as you firing guns and saying pow, pow, is that correct?
Yeah.
What's the hook to that?
Chants by their own nature, they agitate. They are used for mobilization. They are used for agitation. They are used to make sure that the youth become interested in the struggle. And then that's why there will be sounds like that. But to show that there's nothing literal, even the shooting of the gun is not the real gun. So if it was everything meant in a literal sense, we could have taken guns and shot them in the air, the way we're doing with our hands.
Would you stand on the stage with a gun and shoot it in the air?
Come again?
Would you stand on the stage with the real gun and shoot it in the air?
You are trying your luck.
I'm asking you a question.
You are trying your luck now.
What's that?
You are trying your luck because, my Lord, this question is asking me about is before court. It's on another court. He's trying his luck now.
It's a simple question. You can say yes or no.
Yes.
This matter you're asking me,
Okay, so Sorry, yes, Mr. Kasiboto.
Your Lordship, I think the point is clear. Can't persist with that line of question, honestly.
Well, the witnesses say that they find guns with their fingers and don't use real guns. I'm asking a simple question, which is whether he will use a real gun on the stage. We'll see yes or no.
But to what extent would his answer seem to be there is another case related to the shooting of a gun? To what extent does the answer he gives prejudices or may prejudice whatever is happening in the other case?
Does he want to say that he doesn't want to incriminate himself? That might be a
Yes, Mr. Kasiboto.
Your Lordship, whatever form of an answer he gives is prejudice, regardless of the responses. The matter is life before court. We're talking self-incrimination, fundamental constitutional rights here. The answer is clear. I will not answer the question before another court. However, it raises the question if it relates to the merits of that or has an implication to it. It can't be required to answer the question.
You see, sorry, I beg your pardon, Mr. Oppenheimer. My concern is sitting here, and this is a matter that may require a serious interrogation, because the essence of the answer he's given is, I'm not going to answer that question because that issue is before another court. Sitting in this court, being a different court to the ordinary courts, what crosses my mind is, how do I interrogate that issue? And to what extent could the court be blamed for if it permits the question to go through and the answer be given? Because we don't know what answer he's going to give. And the consequence thereof result in the complication of prejudice. And I may be incorrect, but the sense I get, it's referring to a criminal case. Well, you see, also there we now confronted with a situation where this court doesn't apply the same standard as the standard that would be used in that court. That court uses a very high standard. And this court uses ordinarily a much relaxed standard. In fact, much relaxed than even the ordinary civil court. Aren't we running into the risk of compromising certain constitutional rights?
Well, look, the witness himself, they said, we don't use real guns on stage because we are engaged in the wrong metaphor. Now, I'm asking a simple question, which is, would you use a real gun on stage? Now, at this juncture, you can say that there are court proceedings on that very issue, and on that basis, I would answer it.
That's what he has said. I thought maybe he didn't put it in those. That's my interpretation of what he said, but maybe let's just get him to put it properly on the record and permit me to put the question to the witness. Mr. Malema, you've been asked the question as to whether you would use the gun if you're on a stage. Now, you've suggested that the answer is obvious because there's a going case. Are you suggesting by that you wouldn't want to answer the question, or you're giving an answer that may require somebody to interpret?
The criminal case is before the East London Magistrate Court, and his clients are involved in that matter, where they are alleging that I shot a firearm on the stage in an open space where there was public. Whatever answer I give here, it will have implications on that matter. And he's asking it knowing that there is such a matter before the court. Okay, so yes. I will not be answering the question.
Thank you very much. So that's okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Nama.
Now, we spoke earlier about you embracing the Constitution, is that correct?
Yes.
You embrace the Human Rights Commission as a chapter 9 institution?
Absolutely.
Now, the Human Rights Commission was tasked with this question to determine whether the son killed the Boer, killed the farmer, amongst the hate speech. And I'd like to read you what their finding is and some of their reasoning. The final determination was the slogan, kill the farmer, kill the Boer, has chanted at the ANC rally in Kimberley and at the funeral of Peter McCarthy in Polokwane is hate speech as defined in terms of section 16(2)(c) of the Constitution. And that tribunal held the slogan under consideration as appeal was chanted at high-profile functions organised by the African National Congress, the ruling party in this country. These events and the chanting of the slogans were widely publicised. There can be no doubt that the slogan, given its content, its history, and the context in which it was chanted, will harm the sense of well-being, contribute directly to a feeling of marginalisation, and adversely affect the dignity of Afrikaners. The slogan says to them that they are still the enemy of the majority of the people of this country. It contributes to alienation of the target community and conveys a particularly divisive message to the majority of the community that the target community is less deserving of respect and dignity. This generalized slogan is directed against an entire community of people. Words convey meanings and do cause hurting injury. There is a real likelihood that the slogan causes harm. What is your view on finding of the Human Rights Commission?
You read long things.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
So back here, my lord. The first problem is that is one of many other findings of the very same institution on the same subject matter. What is put to the witness is one version, not the second version, which found the exact opposite of what is being suggested. Prejudice one.
Hold on a second, just answer the question.
Sorry.
The implication is that there's a second version. This is the appeal tribunal. This is the higher authority of it. The implication is being drawn is that I misled the witness by reading something that you overrule. Something else.
Mr. Kasibuta?
I insist, Your Lordship. There are two decisions coming from this process which vary, and one version is given to the client, to the witness. That's the first prejudice. The second is this. It's being asked as a lay witness to interpret the law. It's being asked to interrogate. Firstly, he does not have the benefit of reading what he's referring to. He does not know the merits and the demerits of what he's referring to. And then he's asking him to make a legal analysis on the basis of the document he's in read or consulted on. The third prejudice is that is precisely why we're here. He's being asked to give an opinion of what this court should find. That's the essence of the question, and that can't be listened.
Well, before I give Mr. Oppenheimer an opportunity to respond, but on the first question,
Yes.
he's read to him the decision of the appellate, of the appeal.
Yes.
Why can't you address the shortcoming in that question in reply? Because I would assume that in your reply, you could say, was this the only finding related to the Human Rights Commission? And that can be clarified at that point.
Yes.
So that doesn't seem to me to sustain. But I would want to get the comment by Mr. Oppenheimer on the second point of it seems to come back to the issue of an opinion. No, Neil said prejudice. It doesn't, because that was finalized, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not asking the witness for his legal expertise. I'm asking him to respond to the finding of those Human Rights Commission Appeal Tribunal. They've done the finding on this question, on the slogan, kill the body, kill the farmer, which, of course, an issue was later. And can respond to that. But
Yes.
doesn't usurp the power of this ultimate determinations about this present matter.
I don't seem to see any problem with that, Mr. Kasiboto, because all what the witness has been asked, your comment, and you can comment and say, look, this is what the Human Rights Commission found. I agree with them, or I don't agree. That really, for me, it's something that the witness can actually be able to deal with. As to how whatever his answers brings out, it's a matter that you can then debate at the end of this hearing.
Well, what I'm simply saying, Your Lordship, is this. The prejudice to the witness is that, one, he has no access to what is being referred to. He can't interrogate the merits and the demerits. The second issue is he's being asked to comment about the subject matter before Your Lordship. That is the very question before this court. And you're asking a lay witness who's here to give a factual version of his account to comment on, in essence, how this court should find. If your lordship is satisfied that the question is permissible, well then that's fine. That's just the prejudice I'm raising.
But look, I'm in the interest of progress, I'm going to permit the question, and I think both of you can note as a matter to be debated at the end of this hearing. But Mr. Oppenheimer, let me also caution that the way you formulate the question, appreciate that this is a lay litigant.
Yes.
And so we shouldn't actually expect him to express legal opinion on even though those may be matters that are factual from his understanding of the incidences and what has occurred.
Yes. No, I'm not asking for a legal data. It's just given that we've had quite a long discussion between it might be fair to witness for me to stay in the game.
Yes.
And maybe I'll do it. I might break it up as well.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll start with the determination. The determination of the tribunal was the slogan, "Kill the farmer, kill the Boer," as chanted at the ANC Youth Rally in Kimberley and at the funeral of Peter McCarver at Bondoane, is hate speech as defined in section 16(2)(c) of the Constitution. Let's start there. What is your view on that determination by model?
I disagree. Our struggle was never a hate. Our struggle was a struggle for a just cause, and it still is to date.
Then in the reasoning it states, the slogan under consideration's appeal was chanted at high-profile functions organized by the African National Congress, the ruling party in this country. These events and the chanting of these slogans were binding both sides. There can be no doubt that the slogan, given its content, its history, and the context which was chanted, would harm the sense of well-being, contribute directly to a feeling of marginalization, and adversely affect the dignity of Afrikaners. Let's start there. The reasoning of the tribunal is that the singing over the song targets a group, identifiable farmers, and it says, "You are worth less. You are worthy of being killed." That it creates a sense of marginalization. What is your response to that?
It's incorrect because I've explained to you that we're not targeting any individuals. Ours is a struggle against a system of oppression that has robbed us of our land and our economy, and that's what we're engaged in.
Do you think that those farmers are part of that system of oppression?
They are the beneficiaries of the system.
Are they responsible? Should they be held accountable? Those farmers?
Well, when the system collapses, they will all appreciate that we are all equal, and therefore there's no one who's superior to the other. And that's how they will take accountability.
Are they equal now?
They are not. They've got more, and we have less.
Do you understand there's different kinds of equality? Equality in terms of material assets, and then there's equality in terms of inherent worth and inherent dignity. Inherent worth and inherent dignity, equality before the law.
Yeah.
Do you think farmers have inherent worth, inherent dignity, and should be treated equally before the law?
They are treated equally before the law.
And they are equals, they are moral equal.
They are equal to all of us, but the difference, my lord, is that economically, they are at an advanced stage, and they were privileged for them to be there. That's an inequality I'm talking about. Remember when we started in the morning, I know it's in the afternoon, we said political freedom has been ushered in. What is incomplete now is an economic freedom. There's still an economic apartheid that must be dismantled for the benefit of all.
And if I understand your evidence as well, the dismantling, that's those that have more, that must be taken from them and must be given to those that have less, so that you have equality of items. Is that correct?
We must share.
Yes.
Yes.
And then in other words, if there is a wealthy black farmer, he must give to the poor black farmer.
I'm happy you mentioned it, because when we say farmer, we don't say white farmer or black farmer. We say farmers who have become the face of land dispossession in this country. So there is no black farmer or white farmer who's going to lose a farm. All we are saying is that those who have, they will continue to have their own, and this abundant land that people just go around bragging to boost their egos and not using it for any productivity will then be given for those who don't have. And in that sense, we are now equal.
The finding of the tribunal is that the song contributes to the marginalization of community. It makes them feel less worthy because they are being isolated and targeted. What's your response to that?
Their economic standing in society will never make them feel less worth.
No.
That's what actually makes them to behave as supremacists. They do so because their standing in society economically has put them ahead of other race, and therefore there's nothing that can make them feel worthless. With such material position in their position, there's no way they can feel less worth. Huh?
You said it makes them ahead of other races. Is that correct?
It makes them ahead of other race.
Other race?
Yes.
So there's an equivocation that you seem to do here. You say, no, farmers are black people and white people. But then when I ask you, you say, no, they're making themselves ahead of other races. So what do you mean?
My brother, the farmers are white predominantly, and you know that. So when you talk farming, you talk white. There will be small portion, very insignificant black. It doesn't mean there is black and white farmers. Mathematically speaking, it will not make even any sense. So you know that farmer is white, but there will be small pockets of black people who are in the farming community, who are playing very insignificant role and depends on the crumbs of the white farmers. The goats that are not in good shape, the sheep that are not in good shapes, cows with skin crisis, those ones are sold to them at a cheaper price because they must try something called farming. The black farmers are struggling, and they are not even a group that is worth counting when you want to talk politics of farming.
So when you say farmer, you're saying statistically what you mean most of the time, almost all the time, or white people.
When I say farmer, I see a white person, right? When I mention the word farmer, I see a white person. But it doesn't do away with the fact that they are black farmers. The reason why I see a white person is because blacks are so extremely insignificant in terms of land ownership and farming in South Africa.
You just continue playing that video.
Shoot to kill, shoot to kill, kiss the brother, kiss the
So there, we've just established that when you see the farmers in your mind, you think of a white person. And when you're singing the song, shoot to kill, kiss the Boer, the farmer, you're targeting a racial group.
You see, you're putting the kiss and the kill. I told you that the kiss is aiming at offending white supremacists, because they will never derive any comfort on any leader calling for black people to kiss white people, because they don't want that. So our aim is to unsettle and disrupt white supremacists, and we make no apology when we speak about that.
So when you are making hand gestures, power with the gun, right? And you're talking about shoot to kill, you say kiss the Boer, the farmer. Those guns directed at the farmer.
They are directed at the farmer, yes. because the farmer in this instance is the system. So the system is used interchangeably with the farmer. That's what it means. So when we say shoot to kill, kill a man, we're shooting at the system.
Now, you sang this song outside the courts in Senegal. I want to give us a sense of context.
Where?
We can go to that page.
Kill! Kill! Shoot to kill! Namaza! Kiss the poor! The famine!
Is this a Senegal?
No.
This is not Senegal.
Kill! Kill! Kiss the poor! The famine! Kill! There is no commander. Let's put this point. There is no commander in South Africa. There are no white farmers being killed in South Africa.
Now, I've got two questions. The first is
Sure.
the beginning of the
Sorry, yes.
Just before we get there, Lordship, can counsel correct himself because the proposition was he sang the song in Senegal and he purported to show a video of him singing there. So if this line of questioning is going to move from that false premise, it would need to be corrected first.
Yes, no, I intend to correct that. I think it's fair to say that when I say you, I mean the EFF, it's not Muslim Lebanon. No, we'll see on that basis. So, that video starts with an extract from a speech that you gave in Senegal. Is that right?
Which one?
That the
Senegal.
There's a speech in Senegal in October where you're brothers, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
And the extract of that speech says, there are no farm murders, there are no white people being killed. Is that what you said?
Yes.
And then there's footage of the crowd with the party singing the song or the chants, kill the Boer, kill the farm. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Sorry, just a moment.
Just one more thing, Your Lordship, again. In fairness to the witness, the proposition is put, it must be factual, because the answer will move from an assumption that the proposition is correct. The proposition by counsel is that, by my learned friend, is that members of the EFF led and sang the song. I've just been advised by my attorney, who's more astute than I am, that the person who was actually leading the song has no suggestion that he's an EFF member. One is not wearing a t-shirt of such a nature, nor does he declare himself to be one. So if you can just correct that again.
my lord, then maybe we should just go back to that extract and we can see if it's going to respond. So let me ask you the question. If all those members of the EFF singing the song, trying to kill the Boer, kill the farm?
I wouldn't know, my lord. For you to be a member of the EFF, you have to pay 10 rand, get a card, and that card gives you a status of a member. So there's no display of cards. There's no, the person in the main doesn't wear the EFF regalia. So membership is not a t-shirt. Membership is a card.
then will you condemn those people that were singing that song?
No, I won't.
You won't.
No, I won't. You see, in Senegal, my brother, is that it's a community, those people you see there. It's a community protesting against white supremacists. They are agitated. They are angry at what the white supremacists have done in that court, where they broke into police station, chased the police away, broke into the court, fired guns in right on the face of two females who were managing the door at the court. And the people respond in a manner they did to show their displeasure at what happened. They never killed any Boer. They were singing to show that they are angry. Do not take away the right of our people to show the white supremacists that they no longer have a place here in South Africa. So for me to condemn them will be to promote the white supremacists. So I'm not going to do that.
Why do you play this funny game? So those guys wearing EFF t-shirts, I can't see their cards. I don't know if they're EFF members, but of course I'm not going to condemn. Why play that game?
No, I'm not. I'm not playing any game. Two things that you must get right. One, are those EFF members? I'm answering the question on membership, and I clarified to you what is a member of the EFF. For you to be a member, you must pay 10 rand. That 10 rand must be deposited and must have a card of the EFF. That's number one. Therefore, I said to my Lord, I can't say to my Lord, these are EFF members, without me confirming that they are members. Therefore, I can't with confidence say these are members of EFF. That's number one. Number two, I said to you, this is a community. So it's a concoction of everything. I was in Senegal. We had white African right-wingers there. We had AfriForum members there, including some black AfriForum member who looks very familiar with that one who killed the Boer, killed the farmer. He had changed himself. A black AfriForum member changed himself in Senegal. If you go there, you will see that. And then we even had the ANC at Senegal protesting. My Lord, we know those who engage in the struggle that for every protest, the regime, especially the white supremacists, will deploy agent provocateurs amongst our people to provoke us or to provoke the police. Now, for me to come here and say, these are our members, and that agent provocateur responds tomorrow on Twitter that Malema said I'm their member, I'm not their member. I can't say it's our member. But they sang the song. The context is they were angry with the actions of white supremacists, and they were justifiable to act in a manner they did. You're not going to tell them how they must be angry. They were very angry, but what we appreciate of that community is that they never took law into their hands. They used the song to demonstrate their displeasure at white right-winger racists who had showed the law in Senegal that they've got no regard for it.
I'm going to put a different proposition to you.
Sure.
So your proposition is that the reason why they were singing this song and chanting this was to show displeasure to the vigilante group that attacked the court.
Yes.
Now, the reason why there was a court hearing in the first place is that Brendan Warner, 21-year-old, was murdered and his body was put on display on a pole. Now, he was a farm manager. The simple reading when the crowd sings, kill the Boer, kill the farmer, is that they are celebrating the killing of Brendan Warner.
You're thinking very low of black people. Must be ashamed of yourself. Be ashamed of yourself. How can our people celebrate death? Our people have never done that. These people are, my Lord, they were not even going to court. They were never part of the court. Until the court staff had to go and lock itself in a room where right-wingers, gangsterism went to break the court, where right-wingers turned the police van upside down and police were helpless. The people said, we will defend our institutions of democracy. And they did that. And when they arrived there, they were showing their displeasure. These people are angry at what this white right-wingers have done. And in showing their displeasure, you say they were celebrating. My Lord, after that, one, those white African right-wingers never went back to court to mess up the court. Two, our people never went back there because order was restored in Senegal. Police had given up and ran away. Our people went to defend their police, which is a revolutionary thing to do. When the democratic state is under attack by vigilantism, the people themselves have got a duty to take up the streets and make sure they defend the institutions of democracy. And I'm happy that I was leading from the front to restore order in Senegal against vigilante groups which were destroying the courts and the police station in Senegal. There's no celebration there. There's no single poster, my Lord, that can be shown on this video. What a good riddance. The Boer died. Good thing, happy. And when we celebrate, we bring all types of things, by the way. If you see us celebrating, there is trumpets, there is goo-boo, all types of things. We bring them together and we celebrate. So here, it's not a celebration, my Lord. It's an occupation of picket lines where people demonstrate their dissatisfaction with the conduct of Afrikaner vigilantism that displayed itself some few days before.
Let me ask you, you started that speech by saying there are no farm murders.
Yes.
And no white people are being murdered.
Yes.
What did you mean by that?
There are no farm murders, my Lord. There is murder. It's not directed at farmers. There is just a general killing of people in this country because the security of this country has collapsed. So you can't classify it like that, because then you are suggesting a certain group of people, because of their race, must be elevated over the matter that we see in the township.
That's not a suggestion. You don't, the way you phrased that, you said there are no white people being murdered. Let's talk about that.
No, there are no white people who are being murdered. There are no farmers who are being murdered. If you complete that speech, there is murder going on in this country because we are occupying a crime scene. South Africa has become a crime scene. So leave putting the race to it. To stop saying white people are being killed. Stop saying farmers are being killed. You must say our people are being killed. Yeah, there is a problem of men.
Very strange, because your approach throughout is to focus on racial sentiment. So black people are being targeted on colonial oppressors.
Yes.
You have no problem saying. But then if you want to say, well, these farmers are being attacked, and you identify farmers as being white people, then you want to deny it. Then you want to say, no, there's nothing to see here. Why?
Why black people were discriminated as a race. It was a conscious decision to discriminate black people as a race. And in dealing with that violent, racist attack on black people, you have to classify them as black people because they were discriminated as a race. In this context, my Lord, farmers and white people are not being killed for race purposes. They are being killed because crime is out of hand in South Africa. And to even equate that to the segregation of black people as a race, to what I'm talking about, that there is no program, there is no conscious decision taken anyway that farmers and white people must be killed. There is just general problem of crime, there's a problem of murder, and it's increasing, and police are failing to handle it.
I'd like to refer you then to the evidence of Mr. Russ. You could turn to page 202 of the bundle, page 164 of the book. I don't know if you're copy of it and give it.
Of? No, my Lord, I can't read Ruth's book. I refuse.
I'll read it to you.
Yeah, but I don't want that. I'm not going to be used, my Lord, to promote Ruth's book. Ruth came here to promote his book. And
okay, Mr. Malema, I think let's do it this way. Let Mr. Oppenheimer read to you what he says, and you can then respond.
Yes, I'm giving you the opportunity to have the book in front of you.
I don't want it.
Then I'll read it to you, and then you're not being present.
Okay.
So what page are you at?
Page 164 in the book. The heading there is murdering farmers. There have also been many cases where white farmers in particular were murdered, and where their attackers openly acknowledged that they had committed murder and that had been their intention. Other than that, many cases of farm attacks during which the attackers chanted political slogans or made racist or political statements towards their victims in court. In April 2010, Leon Kookaboy, aged 39, was attacked on his farm near Cullinan in Gauteng. The attackers screamed the words, "Die, white man, die," Viva Malema, as they were attacking Kookaboy. In June 2014, Knowledge Paulus and Blazi, 28, admitted to murdering 5 black farmers in 3 months between March and June 2014. Quotes, "My hate for white people made me do it," he said. He described his conduct as, quotes, "going to work," and boasted in the courtroom about the fact that he had 6 murders under his belt. Quotes, "They also had money which he wanted," the judge said, once again proving that a murdering can have a racist motive as well as a simultaneous motive to commit a robbery, disproving the notion that a farm attack can only have a single motivation, as was assumed by the Committee of Inquiry into Farm Attacks of 2003. Now, Mr. Malema, I'm giving you 2 instances where a white person is killed, and from the words that they've said, it's clear that there is a racist intent. It's not ordinary crime. The person is killed because they are white. Well, do you deny it?
Well, your court.
Sorry. Yes, Mr. Kasibu.
Again, Your Lordship, we're dealing with a lay witness here, and evidently hasn't read the book. Now, if the proposition is put as fact, then the fact must have, the authority for that must accompany it. The text that's been read by my learned friend here, it says by Mr. Watson, that's the footnote. It says personal interview with Piwenya. No article, no report, no judgment. So it must be clear.
So where are you looking at?
My apologies, Your Lordship. So if you go to this account,
Page 164.
page 164, footnote 46. Footnote 46 appears on page 365.
Yes, I found that.
Now, that footnote is reference to the text that was read by my learned friend earlier. And then one would have expected you find a news article of a sort, you find a court judgment or anything of the sort. But all it says is personal interview with Piwenya. Now, other than that being hearsay for one, the second issue is it must not be put as fact. It must rather be referenced as such. Mr. Watson had a personal interview with this guy. This is his version. Give a response to it.
Yes, Mr. Oppenheimer.
Well, what I'm putting to the witness is that this is in testimony that Mr. Lewis gave is in the books. An argument can be dealt with as to the underlying sources of that material. And I'm putting 2 cases.
But you're putting those cases as factual incidences that has occurred.
Yes.
And I think pick this one up during Mr. Roth's testimony that in fact 46, footnote 46 relates to an interview with a person. I think what the objection is, or the point that's been made, let it be put to the witness in its true nature that there is something written in the book that relates to incidences in 2010 and 2014, and those incidences, the source thereof comes from Mr. Nyanda.
Now, what my agenda refers me to an article in the Lunch Bowl on 12 April 2010, which is passed on by Screen of Malema.
What page?
That's at page 367 of the book. Yeah.
But does that relate to the portion you are reading to the witness? Because from what I've seen, the portion which has been footnoted, it's footnote 64. I didn't see any other footnote, and that's what I was looking at, in fact.
Yeah, for the death of the correct footnote, they're both on 46.
Okay.
So it's the correct footnote, from what I understand, is on page 367, so it's that 46. Not the 46 that's on page 365.
46 on 360?
So 365 has a footnote 46.
Yes.
Which refers to the personal interview. 367 is a 46, which I gather is the correct footnote to reference that incident, which is in one Lampo that says last not Austria, different limits. So in other words, it does refer to the newspaper article. It's dated 12 April 2010. So that's the correct footnote. So my left friend is correct to point out this column, the footnote everything. It's not the person who's the correct reference, is in fact this newspaper article.
Yes. Just take me back to the portion in the book which started the debate.
So my lord, in other words, the portion that is stated, the first portion is in April 2010.
No, I've lost the page number now again.
It's 164.
164, thank you.
So, in other words, 164, I refer to a particular incident. And then I'll correct the other footnote. In other words, the incident is footnote 46 and footnote 47.
I think in the interest of time, Mr. Oppenheimer, let's look at the objection that's been raised. The objection is put to the witness what is stated in the book and the source of that which is stated in the book. Because if you state it, when any ordinary reading of this portion, well, I'm not sure whether, because some of us would come with the baggage of being lawyers, you immediately ask yourself, was this in a court? Is this a case that's reported? You see the point I'm making? So if the witness is not aware, he's now going to have to answer unaware as to whether this report, what its source is, in other words. So if you could indicate that this is the source, he'll be able to deal with that in terms of what the source of that information is.
I'm going to read those extracts and then point to the underlying sources. So the first instance says, in April 2010, Leon Kokomura, age 39, was attacked on his farm near Kanwal Cartoon. The attackers screamed the words, "Die, white man, die," moving the Netherlands. They were attacking people. The source for that is landbo.com, 12 April 2010, last on fathers screaming. The second one is in June 2014, Knowledge Policy Plaza, 28, admitted to murdering 5 white farmers in 3 months between March and June 2014. Quote, "My hate for white people made me do anything." He described his conduct as merely going to work, and boasted in the courtroom about the fact that he had 6 murders under his belt. They also had money which he wanted, the judge said, once again proving that a murderer can have a racist motive, as well as a simultaneous motive to commit robbery, and proving that a farm attacker can only have a single motivation, as was assumed by the community of inquiry into farm attacks. Now, 47, which is that the judge said, that references an IML article in November 9, 24th June 2016. The article is entitled, "My Hate for White People Made Me Do It." Now, he stated earlier that there are no murders of white people. What you say you mean by that? They are just murders. Now, I've given you 2 examples where the contention is that these are racially motivated.
No, but Mr. Oppenheimer, it's unfair to say to the witness, you said they are just murders. He said there are no farm murders, but there are murders in the country. Because the use of the word just into what he said, it seems to me to, looking for a better word, almost diminishing the importance of the other matters. I didn't hear him to be saying, I'm diminishing all the other matters. He said there are generally matters in the country. In fact, he says this country is a crime scene.
Yes.
Yes, so I think put it
Actually,
there.
I put it clearly then. But first of all, is it your contention that there's a murder problem today? Is it your contention that there's a problem with murder?
Yes. Yes.
Now, I've given evidence, well, I'm giving you two examples of cases that are all of people that were murdered with racial motives on the ground because they were white. Do you accept that it could be a reason to murder someone through racial hatred because someone was white?
You see, one, the book you are reading from is badly written and is not peer-reviewed and therefore cannot be used as an authority. Two, in the same book, the discredited book that uses this court to sell itself, said, I've got a Facebook page where I wrote things on my Facebook. It is not disputed yet, my lord, that I've got no Facebook page and therefore I could not have written the things that the book says I've written. So this book has got no authority, none whatsoever. No, but you said you read to me a book. Am I answering that book? Yes. So you bring a book here that is so discredited and written by a non-thinker, and you want me to engage with a person with a brain the size of a peanut. I cannot do that. There is no problem of white people being killed. There is no problem of farmers being killed, my lord. Because if you want to use that in comparison with black people during apartheid, it was a system desire to kill our people. The wars of dispossession, the 1976 June 16 uprising, the riots of the 80s, the system attacked our people and killed them. Now, in this case, there is no system that said, we now are going to kill white people.
Well, Mr. Malema, can I just interrupt you? I think let's focus on the question so that we can finish.
Yes.
I really want to finish this matter by the end of this week because I've got other commitment that I've got to take on next week. And if this end up in a reserve judgment, a reserve part head, it's something that I would hate to do. I don't like part heads. I think the question that maybe if you permit me, Mr. Oppenheimer, Mr. Malema, I think the proposition or the points made to you is that we hear your point about the status of the book. We've noted that. But the point that's been put to you is that in this book, it has been reported that in April 2010, Mr. Kukemur, who, when you read from the book, it suggests that he was a farmer. On June 2014, Knowledge Paulos Mdanzi admitted having murdered a white farmer. So that's the question that now is being asked to you in the context of you having said there are no white farmers being killed. What's your response to that?
That's supposed to be a decision by the system that we're going to kill white farmers. There is no any establishment that has taken a conscious decision to engage on the killing of white farmers. There will be individuals informed by acts of criminality who engage in those types of activities. And therefore, it cannot be generalized, my lord, to a point where the UN must be addressed that there is a problem of murdering white farmers in South Africa, as if there was an institutional decision to do so.
Yes, Mr. Penham.
Let me ask you a simple question. It seems like you can have institutional discrimination and you can have individual act of discrimination. Is that correct?
No, it's an individual act of criminality.
Can an individual have a racist intent and act out?
Absolutely, like the one who wrote the book.
Now, is it the case that your denial is a very broad denial? There are no white people being killed. You now want to say, well, what I mean by that is there's no gigantic system in place which calls for orchestrated killing of white people. That's not what you said in your speech. You used very short language, said to deny. In other words, it's the kind of move that Holocaust deniers make. They say, no, I would say there was no Holocaust. When you ask me about it, what I'm going to do is say, well, maybe the numbers are different, I'm going to moderate it. I'm going to do a Martin Bailey measure where I say the outrageous thing, and then when under pressure, I sort of pull it back. That's what you're doing, really.
I never said, no, this matter. No, I never said that.
Yes, my correct.
Again, Your Lordship, we're reverting to this idea of distortion. This question was put to the witness earlier. His response was, you play a short clip which does not give a context. You play what you want to play, and you cannot allow the video to run so that we have full context. Because the witness says, immediately after saying what you are quoting, I qualified that by saying there's a general criminal problem of murders in general. So the idea that there's no farm murders and there's no white murders is that you seek to isolate out of what is a general problem, which is of murder. And that's the context the witness gave. To now suggest that all you said was that is misleading.
Well, that speech was shown in court, 20-minute speech. The salient portion of it for our purposes is that Mr. Miller issues two denials. So one is he says there are no farm murders and no white people are being murdered. In court, he then says, I'm going to gloss that, I'm going to downplay it, I'm going to say something different. And my point is, that's not what you said to the crowd. So you get to have your cake and eat it. You get to say the outrageous thing to the crowd, and then in front of these cameras in front of the scores, you can present yourself as someone moderate. And that will gain into effect.
I never said I'm someone moderate. I'm very radical and very militant, and I make no apology about that. And I stand by everything I said. My Lord, let them play you the whole video. I said, and I remember it very well, there is no farm murder. There are no white people being murdered in South Africa. There is a crisis of murder in South Africa. And this thing of elevating the killing of white people as if it's more important than other people who are being killed in the township, it's wrong. Let them play the whole video. And not even the whole video. Just from where they cut it, I take it further there. Because if you check where they cut it, it's not thank you. So he wants to create an impression that I say something else outside and I come here and say something else. I'm saying the same thing consistently from when I was in Congress of South African Students. Everything I say, I said it when I was still young. And I keep on repeating it because they've not been achieved the strategic objective of the revolution. So never create any doubt that I will come here and change. No, play the whole video. You will hear me saying that South Africa has got a problem of murder.
Now, you're playing interesting game here, where you want to say this is elevating the murder of white people to some higher status. But actually what it is that you're doing is downplaying it by saying, well, other people are murdered in other areas. We shouldn't pay particular attention to this.
I'm not downplaying it. Murder is murder. It knows no color. And therefore, all of murder cases must be dealt with as such, whether white or black. That's what your client is seeking to do, to elevate and create an unnecessary panic. My Lord, this is how the AfriForum exists. It creates the state of panic amongst the white minorities, and then say we're taking these people head on, donate money. And that's how they make their money. They create unnecessary panic amongst white people. So if you take that clip like that, and then you circulate it amongst your constituency and say this is what we want to stop, please donate money. Then they make money like that. They make money out of scaring the white minority, even on matters that are simply explained. This video is an example of such. It can't be played, all of it, because it defeats your racist agenda.
We have played it.
Where we show that in South Africa, you know, the women and the children, the numbers are way bigger than the numbers you're talking about.
We're backing and forthing on this issue. His version is that the video has been played in full, including what it says immediate after where he suggests it's been cut.
But Mr. Kasiboto, the issue of the video seems to like an aside issue. The witness has said, I've said what I've said in the video, I said it previously and I'll say it again.
No, but the point is this, Your Lordship. He's saying, immediately after the video, he qualified what is being attributed to him. And he's saying the video does not show that part. Mr. Oppenheimer, the suggestion is this: play the video up until the point the witness suggests he qualified the statement so that there's full context of what he's saying. It's prejudicial to the witness to say, you said there's no farm murders, there's no white murders. That creates an impression. His suggestion is if you keep playing, immediately after that, you will hear him say, because there's a general problem, not just of white murders.
But I hear you, Mr. Kasiboto, but the witness has answered that question fully.
Yes.
It may be that lawyers at this point, you need to argue it at the end of it to analyze his evidence. But for me, he's answered the question. He firstly says, I've heard what he said in the video. The video goes up to a particular point. It doesn't deal with everything else. And then he suggests that it be played, the whole thing be played. I'm not sure in the context of where we are in terms of this case, it's necessary, particularly taking into account the overall evidence that's been led by the witness as we are. So, no, I'll permit the question. Let's proceed and finalize.
Well, I'll ask you a couple of short questions and then suggest that we adjourn until tomorrow.
How much long are you going to be with this witness?
I intend on speaking tomorrow and quite more detail. We've got 3 days left. I understand that.
No, Mr. Oppenheimer. I told you in chambers. I don't like this idea of lawyers thinking that once days are given to a judge, it means that judge is just sitting here. No. This court is under tremendous pressure. And I think us as judges, we've committed to saying, as soon as there's an opening, you must then contact those in authority and avail yourself or do some other work. Now, it's not, and remember, you were given 10 days at my request. Your original request was 5 days. So you're running the risk that, by the way, you are out of your time limit. But I don't want this notion that, and I think it must be cleaned from the minds of lawyers. This court just doesn't have the time. I wish it had the time, but it just doesn't have the time. The notion that you are given 5 days, therefore we can proceed on the 5 days, nah, it's wrong. And so if we finish tomorrow, I can assure you, you will see the way the system works now, it will be picked up that Molatlegi is now free and there's something that he needs to do. Okay. But my anxiety now, tomorrow it's Thursday. He still has how many witnesses? You still have an expert witness. I don't know how long that witness takes. And if it overflows, it's not finished on Friday, then we have a problem.
Yes, but I from my discussions with my friend on that front, I understand that the evidence related by internal is quite narrow, and that my bus determination is quite narrow. And then we are every intention of concluding by Friday. But I think, in other words, I'm going to ask a few more questions today.
Okay,
to continue tomorrow. The Mr. Rutz's testimony, which was the majority of testimony, I think lasted 3 days. This will be 2 days.
Okay, that's fine. Let's finish for today then.
So, just for a second, Lordship, just so we manage time, can we perhaps get a sense from my learned friend in terms of time frames, hours and minutes, about how long it intends to take? Because I would have suggested to this court, if it's going to take an extra hour and a half, 2 hours, then perhaps we could consider the idea of finishing with this witness today and then start with the expert witness tomorrow.
Well, the difficulty, of course, with cross-examination is that it depends on how long the answer is. I wouldn't want to keep us here until 6 tonight, only to say I need to keep on answering questions. It is that available. I don't foresee cross-examination beyond tomorrow. And I understand that it was the last remaining witness.
I thought you'd say to me not beyond tea time tomorrow. If you say not beyond tomorrow, it means tomorrow by this time, will still be on this witness.
I imagine that we'll be finished with this witness by tomorrow, by the end of tomorrow. And that then on Friday, the final witness will be able to be cross-examined, he re-examined on Friday.
Okay. Well, that seems like something beyond my control. You've heard what my views are. Then let's finish whatever questions you wanted to ask today, and then we'll take it up from there.
This is the two questions I'd like to ask. Given our discussion about the nature of murder, and you've testified that murder has been covered and murder is wrong. So, are you willing to condemn the murder of white people?
No, I'm willing to condemn murder, not of white people. Because you keep on emphasizing white people. That's racism and that's white supremacy. That's white supremacy. It's a very offensive question you're asking me. I've just given you an example of women and children who are being killed in this country. I'm willing to condemn murder, more than willing, but not of white people. I'm not going to play in the hands of white supremacists.
Let me ask you some question. Are you willing to condemn the murder of children?
Yes.
And the murder of women?
Yes.
And the murder of Indian people?
No, the murder of our people. It must not be racially classified. But when it comes to women, those people have suffered a serious oppression, a triple oppression, as isolated community, and war declared on them. They've suffered as black women, they suffered as women, they suffered as a working class. We have to elevate them, and we have to bring to light that women are being abused and killed. That cannot be compared with white people who are in power.
So, if someone said they condemn the killing of black people, is there a problem with saying that?
Well, why should you do that? We condemn the killing of people, in particular women and children.
But not in particular any racial groups.
Don't involve me in your racist politics. I'm not part of that. I don't do race politics of wanting to say, no, this race is superior. If he is killed, one person killed in that race is an equivalent of 100 killed in the other race.
No such thing as being
That's what you're doing?
If a black person and a white person are killed, one on each side, you say that is equally bad.
Come again?
If one black person and one white person are killed, is that equally bad?
It's very bad. Murder is wrong.
They're equally bad.
They're equally bad. It's murder.
Yes.
It must be treated as such. We've seen you marching here for farm murders and all of that. You have never marched for killing of women. You have never marched for a murder that occurs in the townships there. Because yours is race. It's not murder. It's not crime. You are pursuing racist politics.
When you say you, just to be clarify.
I told you when I say you, I mean your client.
Yes. Now, are you willing to condemn the murder of Brendan Warner?
Who?
Are you willing to condemn the murder of Brendan Warner?
Who's that?
Brendan Warner is the farmer who was murdered.
The one you are quoting.
Yes, in Senegal.
Huh?
The reason why there was a court case in Senegal is because Brendan Warner was 21 years old as a farm manager, was murdered, and his body was put on a pole. And I imagine that you would be aware of that because you appeared in Senegal. And I'm asking a very simple question. Are you willing to condemn his murder?
I will condemn murder as an act of criminality. But, my lord, again, there is a new definition of a farmer now. That a farm manager is also a farmer. Because we thought that when you say farmers, you are referring to the farm owners. But let's put it differently. There are many black people who are killed there in the farms. It's never called a farm murder. But when there is a white worker who's not an owner, it's called a farm murder. But when it's a black person who dies in the farm, it's not called a farm murder.
If you had read Mr. Ritchie's book, you would note that those farm attacks and farm murders explicitly include people of all races.
Where has Mr. Roots and his cohorts gone to march and turned police vans upside down because there is a black farmer, referring to a worker, farmer, killed in a farm? Where? Don't tell me about what he writes in the book. Tell me if he has ever marched because a black person has been killed, my lord, in a farm and killed by a white farmer. Where has he ever marched? He has never marched because his is racism. The hours are called workers. They are paid with alcohol. They are ill-treated. They are not regarded as farm workers, even when they are working in the. They are not regarded as farmers, even when they are working there. But now, if a white farm worker dies, we're told it's a farm murder, and then there must be a march. When our people die every day in the farms, some of them killed by white farmers, you never march. The hypocrisy.
That if you've been present in court, you've noted that the pastoral councillor talked about what Afrikaans community does when there is a farm attack, and that black people and white people are affected by this farm attacks, and they play a role in counselling everyone who's affected by black and white. So they do care about assisting both the full attacks regardless of their race.
It's not true. You just pick up here and there so that you look smart to deal with this dark cloud over your head of racism, that you exist to perpetuate racial divisions in our country. So you'll choose this case there, you'll choose the case of a lady that is allegedly have been beaten by Mrs. Grace Mugabe because there is a mileage there, such things, But other than that, you have no program, none whatsoever, to protect black life in the farms. That's the point I'm making. So if there are people you are cancelling, it's just this one or that one there and there, but otherwise it's not generally that what you stand for.
Does the EFF have a program to protect the lives of black workers on the farm?
The EFF has got a program to protect the people of South Africa, in particular black people. And the farm workers, the security guards, the domestic workers who are consistently raped in houses here by their bosses, they are our priority. We fight for them and we protect them.
I find it astounding, this sort of gaslighting that you engage in. You refer to AfriForum as race backwards, and then you consistently describe yourselves as people who don't care about race, and then you say black people in particular.
My brother,
How does that work? How do you reconcile those?
It's very important to emphasize that, because those are the victims of your oppression. We want to liberate, my Lord, everyone, black and white, but in particular, blacks and Africans in particular. It doesn't mean we're not including the other race. We're putting an emphasis where the oppression is taking place. And we, to ask us to keep quiet about emphasizing black people is to ask us to die in silence. Because every time we expose this discrimination and oppression on black people, it embarrasses you internationally.
If there was a group that said murder is wrong, but the murder of white people in particular is wrong, wouldn't you describe that as white supremacy?
It is. It will be. Because it will not be true. It will be factually incorrect. When you put an emphasis, is because majority of that which you condemn is taking place at that level.
Mr. Malema, you didn't hear the last part of the question. The last part, the question was a preamble to the question that was posed. He's saying, you saying in particular black people, aren't you a black supremacist? Am I? Yes.
No, my lord. There is a unrest in South Africa. It takes place more in KwaZulu-Natal in July and Gauteng. And you take a platform and condemn all of violence, particularly the one we have seen in Gauteng and KwaZulu-Natal. You are putting an emphasis where this is happening. So if you're to put emphasis on white people, on what? Because they are the power. On what? You'll put emphasis on them. On what? We want to give our people water, more in particular white people. Where?
So in other words, if you say we want to provide services to our people, particularly black people,
Yes.
that's fine.
That's where the services are not happening. We give services to all, but in particular to black people found in the rural areas and in the township. It's a matter of emphasis.
Yes. And my point to you is that, in other words, if the emphasis is made in one direction, it's totally fine. It's made in the other direction, it's racist and supremacist. And that strikes me as a contradiction.
No, there is no contradiction. There is a general statement for all of us, and then which gets to be particularized because of the victimhood of those that you are putting emphasis on. They remain the victims. Black people remain the victims.
Can there be white victims?
Where?
Is it possible for there to be white victims?
Where?
In South Africa?
No,
They can
not at the current moment. No. The white people are the power.
Let's just pause on this for a second. What is the race of the president?
Which president?
President of South Africa.
Ramaphosa.
Yes.
He's black.
And how many people are in his cabinet?
I don't know, 26 or so.
Are any of them white?
Yeah,
How many?
very few of them.
And the head of the police, what is his race?
Black,
And of the army.
black.
And I could keep going on.
Yeah.
The claim that white people are in power, when I've listed all of the levers of political power, and you say that those people are black, that's striking outside reality.
Then let's go to the real power, not this imaginary power you're talking about. How many companies are owned by black people at the JSE?
You can tell me.
Two. I gave you answers. I said, when you ask me a question, I said 26 and all. Now you say, I ask you a question, you say, tell me. Your answer is true. Because you know that if you give the correct answer, it will show the real power.
I'm not a witness.
The economic power of this country is in the hands of white people. They are in charge.
Mr. Malema, just answer him. He's
Okay, yeah.
as he could typically, he's a
Sorry,
representative. Yes, just tell
Yes.
him.
Oh, I don't ask questions, I answer.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes. Thank you.
I'm used to asking questions.
Yes. Yes. So you can tell me if you like.
Well, the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, 80%, if not 90% of it is white owned. Those companies are the ones that control the economy of our country. In South Africa, 90% of the people who own the land are white people. And the white people are less than 15% of the population of South Africa. Africans, who constitute more than 80% of the population, own less than 10% of the land in South Africa. That's power. When you get time tonight, please give yourself an opportunity to read the difference between glory and power. Those things you are telling me is glory. It's not power of blue lights. They are managing the affairs of the state on behalf of the ruling class. And the ruling class is white monopoly capital.
And by that term, white monopoly capital, you would include black billionaires as well, like Patrice Motsepe.
Well, I don't include Patrice Motsepe. I'm not sure if Patrice is a billionaire, Shem. I'm not sure. Sometimes I've got suspicion, my lord, that is an imposter. I'm not sure. I don't agree. I'm not sure. And majority of the people you refer to as black billionaires, by the way, majority of them are imposters. They are posturing. They do not own and control the claims that they are owning. So I don't know. I don't know of any owner of the means of production who is black and African. I can see the people who are fighting to enter that level, but as to whether they own is something else. I don't know. I mean, we were told, dear my Lord, that our president is a billionaire, that he will never ask money or steal money from anyone. This is the man who must elect. Then, boom, the man has taken money from other billionaires to finance his campaign of CR17. Which billionaire does that? He presides over a party that cannot pay salaries. As a president, it comes back to you that your party hasn't paid salaries. Why would a billionaire not pay salaries of his staff members? I think he just likes being called a billionaire. Just likes being called a billionaire. But the man doesn't have anything, Chef. They just like being called those things. I don't think they are real. I don't know. I doubt.
Well, that might be a junction to attend tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, you want to say something? Sorry, yes, Mr. Kasiboto.
Your Lordship, mine is a concluding remark. I'm just very well aware of the constraints we have. Your Lordship will be mindful. Let me remind Your Lordship that the entirety of last week was evidence by the other side. Part of this week up until yesterday, again, it was the evidence of the complainant. We're left with 3 days of the total 10 days we're given. Now, the difficulty with that is that now it distinguishes me in terms of how I structure my argument and how much time I have with my expert. A large part of today dealt with political matters. For the longest time, we had a debate around expropriation without compensation and what have you, political subject matter. Very little of today dealt with the subject matter. So I'm going to ask you what's tightening in respect of that and focusing the debate and the trial around the question of Section 10. Politics and everything else, I have to submit to Your Lordship, there's no place before this court. As a matter of fact, perhaps I should ask Your Lordship if you are so minded to perhaps see us at chambers, me and my counsel. But we certainly further in that respect.
Well, just to be fair, the evidence that was made to begin with, Mr. Lemon, was about the National Political Party on the 7th pillars out. That evidence was not in cheap. And the complaint must have an opportunity to interrogate that evidence. If there's a complaint about political nation being dealt with today, that concern not be raised against the complaint, as if the respondents carried this critical.
Yes. No, Mr. Kasiboto, all I said, and I can see it comes from my comment that I made earlier on. And I'm trying to think now. No, age just takes away a lot of things. But there was a quote by a colleague of mine in the labor court where he was dealing with the issue of speed and justice. He said something along the lines of expedition resolution of disputes can't trump justice. Now, ultimately, what we would have to do in the circumstances, we'll have to look at it. And I just want to say to you, I don't think that whatever I said should constrain you in preparing for your case. If you need more, and I'm not sure, you said to me you'll have 2 witnesses, but if you need your time, we'll have to find that, unfortunately, or fortunately. So I don't think it should be, let me put it this way. Ultimately, it would be my responsibility to find the time to deal with whatever remains to be dealt with by the end of this week. So I think let's leave it at that, and we'll take it up from there. Mr. Malema, we're going to adjourn for today. You are still under oath, if I may remind you, and that you can't discuss this case with any person without prior permission of the court. Thank you very much. The court shall adjourn. Thank you, Mr. Nana.
Everything Chief, you said that you do not sing the song Kill the Birds.
Come again?
during your evidence in chief, you stated that you do not sing the song "Kill the Boer."
Yes.
Why don't you sing the song?
Why must I sing it?
Well, is there a reason why you don't sing?
Why must I sing it?
Why must you sing?
Yes.
Well, do you have any reason not to sing it?
Why must I sing it? Why? Do I have any reason to sing it? I don't have a reason to sing it.
You don't have a reason?
No.
Do you have... If your members of your party sing it, would you have a view on them singing it?
If my members of the party sing it, will I have a view?
Yeah.
Yes, I will have a view.
What would that be?
It will be that they are singing a song.
Is it like singing a nursery rhyme, like singing a national anthem? Is it like any
Yes, it is a song.
Yeah.
It's a liberation song.
So it would not be wrong there, is it?
No, it won't be wrong at all.
It wouldn't be wrong. So why don't you sing?
Why must I sing it? You see, the song, you sing if you want to sing. You see, no person says to you, why are you not singing that song or that song? Depending on the mood, you sing the song. So you can't sing a revolutionary song during a lullaby. So it will depend on which occasion you find yourself, what message do you want to communicate, what is the mood, which song do you want to sing.
What occasions would you sing the song "Kill the Boer"? What would be the correct thing?
Come again?
What would be the correct occasion or mood that you'd sing the song?
No, I can't say, because you respond to different situation at that time.
So you would not rule it out?
No, I'll sing it. What do you mean? I'll sing it.
You would sing?
Yes.
Now, I'd like to show a video of the songs that you have been singing. I'll tell you more like that. This is footage that was shown to the court about the importance to you to be able to see it. So, I just want to make sure the sound plays the
Yes, the sound doesn't
Yeah, I
tell you.
can.
Don't the attorney for the respondent have that video on their camera, because it looks like from their side the connectivity is better?
I'm not sure. Well, let's see if it works with this.
Okay.
Shoot to kill! Shoot to kill! Kill on me! Just the middle! The bomber! Just the middle! Kiss the pool, the family. Kiss the pool, the family. Let's put this point out. There is no family dance in South Africa. There are no white papas being killed in South Africa.
Now, it's like someone's taking a cable on the floor. It's really. You just rewind. Yeah. Now, the video that I've shown shows you around thousands of people singing the song Shoot to Kill. And you change the words kill the Boer to kiss the Boer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now,
Sorry, that's the point.
Your Lordship, just on the technicality, and in fairness to the witness, let's understand what the debate is about. So if you go to paragraph 26 of the complainant's affidavit, and you don't have to go there, Your Lordship, I just want to make the point. The claim is that Mr. Malema sang the song killed the Boer, the farm killed the farmer. Now, if the question is pegged on an allegation of a song sang, that must be put to him in the exact terms that he sang the song, and then the proposition can follow from that, not to distort what the claim is, which is he sang kill the Boer, kill the farmer.
my Lord, in terms of paragraph 37 of the complainant's bundle, page 17, okay, says, I pause to mention that on various previous occasions, Mr. Malema substituted the word kill to kiss the word, despite substituting the word kill would give John that says shoot to kill is the word bomb. It's not very clear in the complainant's case that there's a song where one word is changed, but they're the same song.
So just give me 1 second. What page is that?
That's page 17, Lord. Paragraph 37.
Right, I've got that paragraph.
37.
Yes, go ahead.
This is in the complaint's case. It says, I pause to mention that on various previous occasions, Mr. Malema substituted the word kill to kiss in kiss the word. Despite substituting the word kill with kiss, the John still says that shoot to kill, kiss the word, the follow. In other words, the full context is quite in the back.
Yes.
The complaint's case is the same song, with the substitution of one word and a follow.
Mr. Kasiboto.
If you can allow me, Your Lordship, my
Okay.
That's the point I was telling you.
Your Lordship, we don't want to be difficult. We just want to be fair to the witness. The line of questioning that I had for the witness earlier was specific. Did you sing the song Kill the Boer, Kill the Farmer? His answer was no. Then a video is played of the witness singing in Newcastle. And then a question follows from that video. What my learned friend is referring to is a different occasion altogether. The one that was played here is in relation to a rally in Newcastle. And the claim in the papers that I read earlier is that he sang in Newcastle, kill the Boer, kill the farmer. And I'm saying that must be clearly understood, so as not to mislead the witness.
Okay. Mr. Oppenheimer, I think I tend to agree. I think you need to phrase your question different. There are two situations that arises. So maybe in fairness to the witness, if you could put it that way.
Yeah. We've shown a number of occasions, which I've outlined in tables, of you personally singing a song. The lyrics state, shoot to kill, shoot the farmer, kiss the Boer. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, when I asked you, do you sing kill the Boer, you said no.
Absolutely.
But you said that in principle, if your party sings that song, they must be free to sing that song.
Come again?
Your party, if the EFF sings the song kill the Boer, that they must be free to do so.
Yes.
So try with.
Yes.
Now, what is the difference between these two songs? Between where, in other words, as far as I can tell, the only difference is that one word is changed. In fact, two characters from kill to kiss. And you sing the one version, and the party in the show to sing the other. It's a separate occasion, and you're singing kiss. I imagine they're singing kiss with you. Maybe not present when they sing kill. But is there a difference?
That is not a song. It's a chant.
It's a chant.
Yes, President Mbeki explains that very well if you listen to the video. That the chants change from time to time and different chants get to be sang at different occasions, trying to describe the political situation at that particular point. So that's what I sang, and that's not what I came here for. It's a chant.
So you're chanting, not singing.
That's a chant.
What's just more characteristic? What's a chant? Which version is the chant?
It's a toy that you see. You see those things where I sing and then people say, hi, hi. That's a chant. And then a song will be a person leading that song in melody, and people, I mean, if there's a chorus, there will be a chorus and things like that. But with a chant, you get to say all types of things, and it doesn't remain the same. So you can't say, because you sang this chant today, it must be sang the same way it was sang the following day. President Mbeki deals with that point.
So I understand it. You're saying that chants, by their nature, you can shift the lyrics, but they remain the same kind of chants that you can shift.
You can change the lyrics from time to time to describe a particular epoch of struggle we find ourselves in.
Yeah, so what you said, what's fair to you is that in that video, you are chanting, shoot to kill the farmer, kiss the Boer.
What? I think we must start listening to ourselves now, because you're saying something
sorry,
else.
let's hear from Mr. Kasibuto.
Your Lordship, again, can the words used by the witness be the words attributed to him? If it requires literally reading from the papers, then let's do so. Because then the witness is going to answer a question on a misrepresentation of the facts.
Well, I'm just trying to inquire that. The witness seems to say there's a distinction between song and chant. And I'm just asking him if he was chanting or singing. I want to find out what they did to us. And in other words, there's some ambiguity about what constitutes singing, what constitutes chanting. I'm trying to unravel that.
Okay, yes, I think I'll permit that question. Mr. Manema, can you explain the difference between chanting and singing? I think you explained it, but let's go through it again.
So a song, my Lord, will be that it's consistent. It doesn't change. So we know this verse is going to come, followed by this verse and this verse. So that's why we're able to say, let's sing this song. Let's sing Nkosi Sikelel' Africa. So we know the sequencing of it, what follows afterward, and all of that. That's a song. A chant, you will never know what's going to follow. It depends on that person who's leading the chant. So he can change as in when he deems fit, and they normally use the chants to describe a particular epoch of struggle. So the chants or the lyrics that were used in the chants in the 80s may not be the similar lyrics that are used today in 2022. But the song that was sang in the 80s can still be the same song sang today without anything changes. I sang a song earlier this morning. Even if you like, you can't change it. It's like that. You either decide to sing it or you leave it at all. Otherwise, it's a distortion.
So then let me ask you this little question. That video has multiple occasions to which you're on a stage,
Yes.
and at the end it has footage of a crowd. So let me ask you, when you're on the stage, are you singing a song or saying a chant?
I'm chanting.
You're chanting. Okay. And so what are you chanting?
Struggle song.
You're chanting a song.
Yeah. No, a struggle song.
I see. So you're not singing the song, you're chanting.
Yes.
What is that struggle song?
They don't have names.
Okay, so it's an name.
Yeah, you can't say Maria Carey, my love. They don't work like that.
So it's an unnamed chant.
We call them, all of them, struggle songs. But amongst the struggle songs, you find chants.
All right, so how would you identify that chant?
But you find it the way I described it earlier. You see, where a leader leads, and then the ones who follow with one or two chants. So if I say shoot to kill, they say hi. Nyamaza, hi, hi. So what doesn't change is this chanting of those who back up the song. But I can change as in when I feel like.
Yes.
Yes.
But the changes, I've shown you chanting that on multiple occasions.
Yeah.
Is it the same throughout?
No, they're not.
What are the differences?
No, you start from where you want. You didn't start. So before I even arrive there, my Lord, I sing a song first before I do the chanting. So that is not a complete video. I sing a song normally. I can sing any different song, but normally I sing a song. Normabayas to Wulasia, even if they shoot us, we're going. So I sing that song, and then at the end of that song, I start chanting.
And the words that you are chanting, let's focus on that. What are the words?
Come again?
What are the words that you are chanting?
You can't hear them. You want me to do it?
Yes.
Hule, hey, Yamazan. You see? So those are the words I sing.
And the rest of it? Are you embarrassed?
No, I'm not embarrassed. I can't sing the words that I don't want to sing, because there are no words that are written that I must sing. So depending on where I am and what is the mood and what I seek to achieve, I will sing.
So in those videos,
So this one I sang for you, this is how that I start. Then from there, I start borrowing whatever I want to deliver to the people.
okay, so what did you deliver to the people in the video I just showed?
I don't know where was that. I hear him saying it was Newcastle. I don't know. From here, I can't know where I am.
One of them from your fourth birthday party.
Absolutely, I wouldn't even see a birthday there. They all look the same. It's like it was political gathering somewhere. So I wouldn't know. So if you take me to a particular occasion, then I will know this is where we were, this was the situation, and then this is what happened.
Let's re-show it to them. So,
Yeah.
and we can see the label, and we'll pause at the end of each one.
Sure.
Sky. So over here you see it's labeled at the bottom. It says Dear Brad in Newcastle, 7th November 2016. You'll see throughout they're labeled so you can see where you are. But that's what was first thing.
Also tell my Lord the date.
2016.
Yes. So, my Lord, I do this every day of my life. I address people. When I finish, I sing. When I finish here, I'm going to address people outside. I'm going to sing. And all of that. So, from 2016 until now, I would have sang in a lot of places and in a lot of events. And to say to me, I must capture the mood of what was happening at Newcastle on the 7th of November 2016, it's impossible.
I'm not asking you to capture the mood.
You asked me what was the mood. You asked me when you were singing this, what message did you want to deliver? What was the mood? I wouldn't know, because this, if you put